That's little cool. Yeah, so this piece is titled Mama's Boy. I think, if I can remember correctly, I think this was the first painting I started when I moved into this new house.
Okay.
So yeah, first one of the new studio. Like, if I can remember correctly, I think I just went with this like solid marker on white canvas and just, you know, drew the face from my mind and then just started from there.
Here, and
expanded with the concept and the idea of the whole painting. But
I see like the bigger picture of it. I've got questions more so about some of these smaller details.
yeah.
Like if you want to walk through, let's say, we're gonna start in a corner here, because when I'm looking at something like this, it's like, I already have a tough time like just looking at things broadly because I get so fixated on like every little piece. It's the same thing. I was comparing this to like street photography, where it's like you look at, you know, a photo of people walking on the street in like New York, and it's like you can kind of spend an infinite amount of time just looking at one individual or like one car, one sign, and it's like inside that there's this entire story that kind of unravels. But like I see this and I'm like, I'm a Libra. Is that like a horoscope like type of thing, or like where is the...
Wow. So this is kind of crazy. So my mom's a Libra. I paint in memory of my mom. It's kind of known. And I didn't put that symbol on there knowing it was the sign of a Libra. Sometimes when I do these paintings, I'll do something that like ends up being cooler than what it intended to be. Like it could have just been like a random stroke that I didn't really like put a lot of thought into, but then it becomes this shadow like under its eye or something like that. So with that, it was to represent balance my thoughts. Like this is like,
oh, I didn't even notice like
So this is kind of like representing the anxiety and the darkness of my thoughts. Sometimes I get in my way of like, everything will be perfect in my life, or like not perfect, but like I'm not stressing like I used to when I was traumatized.
Yeah.
Like, but those thoughts are still like just right there. Like it's like, dang, like when's something bad supposed to happen? Like this is too good to be true. Like I've been painting for 10 years and have a career out of it. And yeah, so I'm trying to balance my thoughts of like those, like, cause it's, I don't know. I have to understand it's like fine to feel those things because like they're always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Like no matter how far I get in life or success that I feel in my career, I feel like that trauma is just like, it's ingrained in me no matter what. But it's just like, how do I live through it where I'm not like messing up the flow of other people's energy too?
Yeah, it's all balance.
Yeah,
I see the, it makes plenty of sense, but it's also kind of cool that there's like maybe a theme that was in it that wasn't intentional, but it has like a meaning.
Oh yeah, beyond even that.
Because it's like, oh, well, there is a reason why like that is kind of a symbol of, you know, how I understand these two things. And it's like, it's tied back to Mama.
Yeah, so it's like, that sounds familiar. And then it says something here too, I can't remember. Sometimes I forget what I write. Anxiety equals the future. It's like when you feel those emotions of anxieties because you're thinking too much of the future. When you feel the emotions of like depression, it's like most of the time you're thinking of something that
has happened.
Yeah.
Versus
I think it says something like anxiety equals future, depression equals past, but it's all like scribbled out and kind of hidden in there.
It's got a little bit of chaos on it.
Yeah, chaos for sure.
But no, like some of the chaos too, which I thought was unique, was like you had your nephew
Oh yeah.
like scribbling on this thing, and I was having a tough time deciphering what was your nephew's work and what was yours. Like the Swedish fish, that looks like it was a third grader,
Yeah.
or it very easily could be like a grown-ass adult who just
Sure.
never worked on handwriting at all. But no, it was like, it was cool to hear that piece, and then you're like, okay, well now let me take a look at this and see if I can identify like where the different hand
Right.
kind of stepped into here. But no, can you show me like where your nephew got in on this?
He just like went in right here with all these like lines, like just, and over here too. You can kind of see him here.
Yeah.
But this painting, it was like, all right, yeah, you can do it to this one because it already has that theme of like playfulness and kid-like, and just the expression of like not thinking of what others are gonna think about it, or like, is this
It doesn't need to
art,
be in the
or,
lines.
yeah, it's just like, I'm just gonna paint and be free.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, innocent or whatever, you know, you just go in.
Yeah, that childlike innocence of just like, I don't need to draw in the lines. Like that's something I think that like gets just drilled out of kids like early on, is like,
Right.
no, this is, you need to work on staying in the lines, like whether that's like a broader sense of things, or if it's actually on like a little art assignment where it's like, hey, this is nice, like I see what you're trying to do, but like you went all over the place with the crayon. And it's like, you kind of start like handicapping that freedom and that creativity, because it's like, from somebody like myself now, where it's like, oh man, I wish I could like just look at a canvas and like feel that type of freedom.
Man, that's, to be honest, that's I feel like my best work is when I go into a canvas with just an emotion and paint whatever comes out, like not a concept or a sketch in mind. Like I have an idea, I guess, like, oh, I want to paint a skeleton or like this to make the emotion feel alive. But
yeah, I mean, there's clearly like some common themes, the common colors and stuff like that. So you're not starting from like blank. It's like you kind of got these pieces, and now it's like, yeah, but I can solve this puzzle a different way, and I'm still going to end up with, you know, something different. It's like you can use similar images with like this style, but you end up with a completely different product and stuff. It's like, I see the eyes in all of these paintings, and it's like, that kind of seems like it's a core focus, and then everything kind of builds out from that, no matter how small the eye is on like the painting itself and stuff. It's like, it's always like a, that thing was in focus. Like,
for sure. I try to tell that story of like, you can look at this eyes and know it's been through some shit, if that makes sense. And I feel like you can do that with people in general. Like, you can see, like, I don't know, sometimes I guess you can feel where they've been just by the expression in their eyes. Yeah, so that's why I keep like the white under the eye, and then it just gives it that like, I don't know, it looks more like
chill.
Oh man, yeah, I just had a long day.
if it was, you know, big saucepan eyes, it's like that might look a little different. Like that's a different type of shit that person's been through.
But yeah, so.
But I think I think the more like you look at it, the more you see these little pieces, and that's kind of like why I wanted to ask you questions about stuff, because it's like, yeah, if I was to be sitting here with my own thoughts and like looking at stuff, I could come up with like an idea of like maybe where this came from, or like phrases that probably are phrases that like you all shared growing up and stuff. But it's kind of a unique opportunity to actually get to talk in real time to the person that, you know, put paint on canvas and stuff. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, there's the answer to the question.